Hello, welcome back, everybody, to another year of the Sunday Podcast.
I'm Ollie Lum.
And I'm Matt Seddon.
Back in 2025 for our 5th season. You can expect more of this.
He's claiming that he was ill before the semi-final, whatever, but, you know, I just feel like at that point he was just looking for attention.
And some of this.
Elio normally say, no human is limited. So I can't limit myself, or I can't just say I can do.
As well as event coverage around all the major races on the UK circuit.
And if you're a fan of the pod, please give us a rating and review on your preferred podcast streaming service.
And if you want to stay up to date with all the latest news, give us a follow on Instagram at Sunday Podcast.
As always, thanks for listening. See you next time. And we hope you enjoyed the episode.
Hello, welcome back. Another Tokyo bonus incoming. Nothing crazy to report today. Obviously had the 800 meter semis for the men, women's 800 meter heats and women's 5,000 meter heats as well. So yeah, I mean, nothing crazy to report. Obviously, Keely and Georgia looking good. Hannah Nuttall is through. And then, yeah, the men's 800 meter semis probably the most to talk about in terms of races, right?
I think, yeah, a few surprises. I mean, yeah, nothing to talk about in the sort of mid-distance. I think it was an interesting day. We got I love days like this because we get to see, I mean, we saw 9 800 meter races, 2 5,000s. I mean, it's a great day for distance running for sure. But those 400s, I mean, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, I mean, that was just ridiculous. 47.7 for the win, 2 women sub 48. Sickening. I mean, Botswana had 2 men on the podium in the 400 as well. Yeah, those last 2 races were crazy. But maybe we'll start with we'll work backwards. Start with that men's 800 semis and all the news that came from that. I think we got heat 1, and you know, A-Rock does his traditional way of racing and goes to the front and dictate things, and we haven't seen that in a little while on the circuit, but it worked for him, and you know, he negotiated that semi, and I started to see a little bit more of the old A-Rock, although I wasn't that convinced still with him coming down, you know, that last sort of 50 in Sajati and stuff, and you know, within all of that heat was Patterson, who just was unfortunate. He sort of went off, and he just found himself at the back of the field after the first 200, and I think, you know, at his best, maybe he finds his way out of that position at his absolute best. And unfortunately, I think, you know, it was a really strong run, and I think he'll be very encouraged by it. And going into next year, he'll look at the Europeans and be like, right, yeah, you know, if he can stay healthy, he can have a great year next year, I think. And especially then you go into the Worlds in LA and beyond. So I think this year's been a tricky year, and he's looked, that's the best I've seen him look, to be honest, in that semi-final. And I know he only ran 145 or whatever, but I think comparing him to the opposition and how he looked down the last 100, started to see the Patterson of old.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout, mate, in terms of like, he can't, his only way to get through this race was not to run kind of in true Patterson style, because he's just not fit enough to do it against these guys on this stage. And actually it was just, he needed to get a bit lucky in terms of having a quick race where he's right on it from the gun and just somehow pops what was it you needed? A 143.8, right? Would have got you in. So look, I think you're bang on though, in terms of like, Patterson should be really pleased with this, like knowing, or like kind of having spoken to him a couple times on the pod and stuff. He won't be happy with that, but that's the sort of guy he is. But I think he should be really kind of pleased with how he's gone this season. Like, look at British champs, and I know he was ill and things like that, but look at British champs, and then you're getting to a World 800 meter semi after doing that. So fantastic achievement. But mate, on A-Rock and Sajati, I think they might just be, maybe they've just got it right, mate. They've not looked crazy good all season at all. They don't look amazing now, but it was pretty routine for the both of them. And knowing what they're like at their best, maybe they've just timed it right, and they're going to be the ones to watch in the final, you know?
Nah. I don't think it looks amazing. I think for me, I mean,
I think it looked amazing, but I don't think they needed to.
I think Max Bergen will watch that and go, crap, you know, he's knocked Brazier out. I think Brazier was going to be a threat. No Americans in the 800 final. I think Max Bergen will look at this field now and go, look, how do I win this? I mean, he would have been coming in wanting a medal anyway, but I think now he's seriously how do I win this? Do I make sure I'm in front at 400? Do I go off hard? Do I test these guys? I am not sure. Looking at these guys right now, I mean, Max Bergen ran Wanyoni very, very close in the last Diamond League. Looking at them, I mean, Atsui, I think that's his maximum. He produced probably his best race in that semi-final. He's a great runner, obviously, and he is always going to be a threat. But looking at Wanyoni, looking at A-Rock, looking at Sajati, I'm not sure those guys are ready to run 141, 142. Yeah. Bergen thinks if Bergen thinks he can run 142.0, 142.1, 141.9, in that sort of low 142, high 141 range, which I think he would be quite confident. I mean, he runs 143. They run 143.1 or something today. He's a little bit slower than McPhillips, wasn't he? But if he thinks he's in that sort of range, I think he ought to go for it. I think he ought to go for it and test his men.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's his best way of doing it, and that's been the way he's ran his whole career. And he's got to the point now where he's at home on this stage. So why not go and have a go at the World Champs? Like, why not? I think he regrets it if he sits in and runs differently to how he's best.
Agreed. I think what's the worst? The worst that's going to happen. I think he still holds on.
What's going to happen is you're a world 800 meter finalist.
Yeah.
Mate.
Well, no, I think even more than that. I think I can't. Something's gone seriously wrong if Bergen finishes outside the medals for me. Yeah, the way. No, I think it has. And also I think just going forward for his development, it's like if he goes to attack it and front run it like he, when he was coming on the scene, like he would do at British Champs, he would blow the field away, he would test them. And look, if he does that and he comes second, he comes third, he comes fourth, he knows next year he either needs to be stronger and try the same thing, or he needs to just, or he'll learn from it and he'll be a little bit more patient next year and he'll adjust and he'll tweak and he'll perfect his tactic for the Europeans and for the Worlds and for the Olympics. I think this is a guy long run. It's like, can I become Olympic champion? Can I become world champion? And tomorrow is
at every level, he has got to the point where he can front run and win. So,
that's what I mean. At every level, I think this is the time he's got to try to do it at the world level.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree, mate. There's not much to lose.
Yeah, I agree, mate. You mentioned Atui, maybe giving it a bit too much. I think McPhillips, obviously fabulous run from him, Irish record in that semi 143.1. But he's just, for me, what's the need to really push past Bergen there? When you've qualified, like they're clear of Brazier, confidence maybe, but I don't know. You're gonna top that in the final. I'm not so sure. He's looked great through the rounds. Looked great today, but just seemed a bit unnecessary. Because you talk about the psychology of it. For me, an athlete who really thinks that they're in with a shot of a medal doesn't need that boost in a semi-final.
No, but it's good to learn something, and maybe he learned. I've got more in there. I can get Bergen on the change of pace in that last 50, that last 60. I was very impressed. And he's run 143.1. He's run a national record. This guy was ranked 44th coming into this championships. This championships has all been about underdogs. It's been about upsets. And honestly, I think there's going to be another one. It's hard to bet against him not finishing in the medals the way he's looked. And one is heat, one is semi. Winning an 800 semi in the Olympics is very difficult. At the World Champs is very difficult. And for me, he did it in a more collected way, in a more controlled way than Atui. I thought Atui just, he was doing a bit too much, I think. But I told you before as well, with this 800, if you're strength based, the gap every day, it's race, gap, race. So you talk about feeling fatigued, feeling tired. I think all he's done is just sharpen up. He's sharpened up throughout the whole thing, McPhillips, and he looks better and better every round. And because there's now a day off tomorrow and then the final, I think he's going to be fantastic. I think he's going to finish amongst the medals for sure. His positioning's good. He has a good close. I haven't really seen anything bad from him. He hasn't put a foot wrong, and he's got momentum. He's got that excitement. It reminds me of Patterson in 2023 a little bit. Patterson wasn't going out there winning semi-finals, but the momentum factor. And I think in the 800, the momentum factor is huge.
Who do you think the best then? Who do you think looked the best across the three? Who looked the best and who's your pick?
Well, I think it was McPhillips and Bergen. For me, looked the more composed, the stronger, the guys who were mentally just probably a lot more relaxed, but then also just executed better. I think Atui probably did too much. Wanyonyi looked a little sluggish. He actually, that was a big ask for Wanyonyi to try and respond to Atui. I think he thought, blimey, this is a big move. And, he didn't really want to go with it. Obviously, he qualifies, and then Arup and Sajati. And then obviously you get those two fastest losers from that final heat. But I look at that men's final, and the reason why, I go back to Bergen sort of just getting out there and front running is because you are going to have a pack of 4 or 5 guys. They're all big guys. They're quite physical. You've got McPhillips. You've got Arup. You've got Sajati. You've got the Jamaican is tall. They're going to be fighting for positions, and things are going to get messy at 250 to 200 to go. Things are going to get messy, and if you measure it right, you're going to be away and clear. if you're out front.
Interesting, mate. I actually think Wanyoni looked a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't get to rewatch it. It looked like he was grimacing a bit. He looked tense. And I just think Wanyoni just...
Well, I didn't catch what happened with the moving of the semi and stuff. I didn't, because he moved semis.
Yeah, I know. Again, that was weird.
Wow,
Again,
I don't know how that actually happens. How does that actually...
Well, I think they realised they fucked up, to be honest. They realised they fucked up.
Right.
Unless you're going to... To be fair, are you going to just quickly check if there's not?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Something like that. By the way, the Italian pitch, I'm 43.8 for him in fourth.
I thought he looked fairly smooth, you know? I thought, I don't like betting against the Kenyans over 800 at championships. They're just too good.
They are very... God, yeah. Just even looking at the victims of this men's 800 this year, just so many big names out. And Hoppel, the Americans...
Same as the 15, right, isn't it? It's crazy.
Same as the 15, yeah. Jesus, mental. So that's the main 800 semis. I think, I would go Bergen for the win, and I would sort of go A-Rock, Wanyoni, McPhillips. Those guys are going to be amongst the medals. Louis is closing really well. He's going to be full of confidence, but I think against all those big guys there, I think he's going to find it too hard. I think he's a classic example of someone who gets caught in the pack, and he's going to make a mess of,
have a big kick. But we'll get him fourth.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. Yeah, and have a big kick. But we will see. We will see how much we know about the men's 800. Probably very little. It's been impossible to predict. We'll move on to the women's.
Mate. That's my.
You're going Wanyoni. I'm going to go Bergen.
Bergen's medal, though.
McPhillips will do something crazy. McPhillips will medal, I think. I think Bergen and McPhillips will medal. I think it's going to be between... Yeah, maybe I'll just go Wanyoni for a medal as well between those guys. Not for the win. I'm just saying those are my three medalists.
I reckon Wanyoni, Bergen, Sajati. That's my...
We'll check the odds for McPhillips, the medal.
I reckon they're not great now.
Yeah, he's been looking too good.
Yeah.
I mean, the men's 800 is just... And there's only 8 in the final. It's pretty... What? McPhillips, actually, you've got better odds if you bet Bergen to medal than McPhillips.
Wow. It's because the people setting it will just look at who won the semis.
Yeah, I mean, Bergen's almost 2-1. Christ. Bergen's low-key got best odds in the game. Tui's terrible, A-Rob's terrible, Wanyoni's terrible on the odds setters and McPhillips. God, he must be even more to win gold. That's just to get a medal. Bergen is 11-1 to win gold. What? Fuck. It's ridiculous. There you go. I mean, that is surely quite easy pickings.
If only it was that easy.
Anyway, men's 800 Saturday, final Saturday. Cannot wait. Right, women's 800 heats, all fairly straightforward. I mean, Keely looked good.
As you'd expect.
There's actually nothing to report about. She's really strong. Mary Moore looking a little bit better for me. I know she let Borgwan beat her, but for me, she's looking pretty smooth. Back to her old tricks. Fast, slow, fast, and something's changed. She's looked the best I've seen her all year. That was a 158 in the heat. I was pretty impressed. Daguma looking good. Nice change of pace.
Yeah, I thought that Daguma as well.
I think basically with this women's, Vera was looking good as well. She sort of dominated. Fran ran a lot of it. With the women's 800, I'm kind of just, and obviously Georgia Bell, it's more just like wait to the semis because I think...
Yeah. It's too easy for these girls. They're too good. The
yeah,
girls,
for me,
girls,
yeah.
Every woman who's won their heat, you got Natoya Gould, Georgia Bell,
yeah,
Odira, Wero, Daguma, maybe apart from Borgwan.
I think Borgwan and Moore though, because Moore.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm talking about say the others, and obviously Keely. They're just so much better than everyone else in their race.
Yeah, I mean, it says it all. Like Borgwan's and Moore's heat. You've got Galanova, who is a strong athlete, European medalist, but she's running 2 minutes in the heat, and in a race that was pretty good. I know Moore mucks about the pace, but in a race that was pretty good, what was it, 59 through 400? Like, you should be able to break 2 off of that if you're, if you mean business.
Yeah.
So, so I agree with you. It hasn't quite got that. Across 7 heats, the depth's just not there when it's first 3. So there's actually nothing too much to learn. They all looked good. I think they're all eager to race.
Yep.
And I think they all come into this in great shape. Like, Vero comes into this in great shape. Hunter Bell comes into great shape. Moore is the best. Well, maybe not her best shape, but the best I've seen her look this year. Daguma, we haven't seen her for ages. ages. And to be fair, actually, out of everyone, probably wanted to see a little bit more from Daguma, but we'll see how she goes in the semis. And then obviously Hodgkinson, looking class. It's unfortunate for Riki not to.
Yeah, what do you think about Riki? Because I know we weren't really kind of saying that we expect Riki to feature this year, but I think we expect her to get through the heat.
Yeah. I mean, she has. I think she did actually have the hardest heat. Ironic, we're just talking about sort of how there was some of these women had an easy ride. Riki's heat, unfortunately, wasn't an easy ride. I know Dira wins in around 157 or so. Like it was fast, and they all ran pretty fast in it as well. And I think with Riki, maybe there's something behind the scenes. Maybe she's been a little bit injured, or just I don't know. But she hasn't. It's not just hasn't been at it this season. Has never looked too convincing, and I'm sure there's a reason for it. But I think going into this championships, if she made it through, she was never going to make it to the final for me. She was never going to get near the final. And sometimes, like, obviously you want to get as far as you can, but yeah, like, she would have got smashed in the semis, I think. It's harsh, but
yeah, it's tough though. It's world champs, isn't it? So
yeah, I almost just back to the I guess the front end. I almost thought Georgia Bell looked better than Keely. She probably looked the most relaxed out of everyone across all the heats, but
don't be fooled, mate. Don't be fooled. Yeah, I think with 1500 runners, they almost look better at that speed because they're just a little smoother. Whereas I think Keely is like.
That's why I don't think Daguma looked as good as maybe.
She was too slow. Yeah.
Well, like she's run 201. She's never going to look that comfortable running 201 because it's just not. It's not really. It's not 800 meter pace for her, So she's not going to look as fluid. But.
Yeah. Whereas, and again, you look at Keely and you're like, she'll look incredible running 154, But yeah, sort of 159. It looks a little bit more awkward for her than it does someone like Georgia who can just sort of coast it in and stuff. So, but yeah, women's 800. One of the forfeits, by the way, if Keely breaks my PB, one of the forfeits from Mike Boucher is for me to join AFD and do a Hampshire League.
It's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, the legendary AFD manager said that should be my forfeit if Keely runs by PB.
I'm going to try and get up the other ones I found. We had a few people comment on Spotify.
We did have some good ones. I don't want to go near them. There's people telling me to do marathons and shit like that. I was like,
ultra marathon around a roundabout, no change in direction allowed.
What's an ultra marathon? For me, that's
anything over a marathon is ultra. I'm pretty sure that is the technical. Yeah, you run 26.2. It's an ultra. Normally 50k plus though is like pretty standard.
But
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, if you run 26.2, that's an ultra. So anyone who actually warms up for London Marathon is running an ultra.
I just need the weather. I need the weather to play ball and be horrific on Sunday night when Keely gets after it. Keep me safe.
Yeah, the other one is for you to train and race a marathon in order to qualify champ standard for London. Don't think you got that in your locker, mate.
What's the champ standard for London?
It's pretty quick these days.
Yeah, it is.
You should have asked Hugh Brazier about it. You didn't ask him the tough questions like that.
Is it 240? 240, 238?
The easiest one's the half. I think if you run...
Half is 71.30.
Yeah.
I feel like I only know the half.
I think it's because I don't know many people that like go and run a marathon to qualify. I think most of the people I know...
No one does
that. Half, yeah. Because they want to debut at London, so...
Of course, yeah, you want to debut. Bryce, that does just sound like torture. I think the Hampshire League out of all of these, joining AFD and running the Hampshire League is the easiest forfeit.
It's the easiest forfeit, but then you've got to wear an AFD vest. I don't know if it's the best one. Sub 238, yeah. Did you say 238?
Yeah, I said 238, did I? Yeah,
that is knowledge. Yeah, and then 71.30.
Yeah.
Wow. 2026 is capped at 500 men and 500 women. So if there's more people,
yeah, it's usually usually these days it's like you have to be quicker if you want to.
Imagine that, mate. You ran 2:37.59. But then you're 501, and then you get to say, don't have to do it.
But I wonder what the Boston qualifiers are and stuff. I don't really know. For our age category. But fuck, mate, I think we're moving into a new age category soon. 25 to 29, we're going to be tipping the big 3 zeros.
That's not an age category, is it? The 30s, isn't it? Doesn't start till the 35s, I don't think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe so. We got another 6 years, mate.
Oh, I think they just do because
Then we
like
can do our best.
when
Harry
you
Wake.
when you look at the stats, but when you look at the stats for participation, it's like 25 and below, 25 to 25, 25 to 29, and then it's like 30 to 35, 35 to 40. Like it goes up in like those
Gotcha.
brackets. That's like if you're looking at like percentage of participants in those categories. But so I thought, yeah, okay, so maybe it is what you think 35 is the first one.
I thought it was, but you're the one who knows the entry standards, so you might have.
So no, I'll be in my absolute marathon peak by 35. Right, let's. Where are we, man?
women's 5Ks,
we've
mate.
digressed. Women's 5K.
Yeah, Hannah Nuttall through to the final. Great result for her. And
Classy run in those.
fairly comfortable as well, wasn't she? That kind of pack moved itself away, wasn't having to like kick hard for it, which is a nice way to do it because now she can go into the final thinking I'm in and amongst these girls and I'm like able to run with them. Whereas I think if you end up sprinting 50 meters behind and grabbing 8th place, you're like, just got in there. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but the confidence I think she'll have from just being able to actually move away with the general pack, with the likes of Chebet, Battlecletti. Yeah, she's going to be feeling
Hannah Nuttall, whether she gets to run a PB or not, she's in PB shape. I mean, that performance tonight was very, very strong. 14:48 in those conditions, very hot, very humid as well. Even though it rained, it was still just a joke. Like, honestly, it did freshen. It wasn't as bad as last night, but it's hot. And again, you know, they were racing at 7. You know, it was quite early on in the evening they were racing. And so I don't even think it had started raining then. And yeah, it's quite blustery actually. She's in PB shape, and that was a very, very strong performance to make the final. And, you know, obviously Millie Courtney Bryant in that heat as well, unfortunately didn't. And obviously we know she's had a bit of an injury-riddled year. And when Courtney Bryant gets on it, she is so good. And it's unfortunate that she's just found herself being so inconsistent this year. And obviously probably no fault of her own. She's had these niggles. You know, they have affected her. I think Hannah Nuttall would have very much enjoyed. I mean, anytime you see Tanaka on the heat sheet, you must be jumping with joy because she just gets things moving. And, you know, you say like sprinting in that last 50 to try and qualify, etc. Yeah, the beautiful thing is Tanaka managed to just pull those women clear, and she did the job. You know, she did all the hard work, and it meant that, you know, Nuttall is just going to, the whole time that pack was just whittling down, Nuttall's just growing in confidence. She's like, okay, there's only 10 women left, and she'll back herself in the kicks. Even by the time there was 10 women in there, she's going, right, I'm in a good spot here. I only need to kick 2 women down, and then obviously you move up and, you know, the pace stays on it. People start dropping off. I think, you know, actually, I think the 5,000 is really, you know, quite nice qualification because if the pace is honest enough, you will break 6 or 7 people.
Yeah.
Despite them being, you know, there's a lot of women in that race who are quick enough to go with that pace, but you come into it, you know, Cranny coming off the 10, and also Georgia Griffith obviously struggling today. Obviously Millie Courtney Bryant, Hylam as well, just not, you know, Bellanu as well, just not 5K runner. So I think if you can work together enough, 8 of you can pull clear in these in the 5,000, and that's a lovely thing.
And we saw it in both. Obviously, the others is slightly closer, but the top eight women had a little bit of a kick, and then with about 200 to go, they kind of knew, 8 of us are away and
safe.
Could shut it down.
The men won't do the same tomorrow. The men will make that carnage.
Oh yeah, there'll be falls, there'll be spikes, there'll be people running into lane 5 with a lap to go, and we love it. I can't wait.
There'll be advancements into the final. There'll be 20 in the final because 10 men fall. But yeah, I just think the women are just switched on in that sense. And it was the same in, you know, Heat 1, same in Heat 2. Like I say, it's a little slower, but, you know, they just didn't keep pressing late on in the race. Things didn't get moving quite as early. But
yeah,
and
Yegon as well.
What do you reckon? I'm looking at that top. Yeah, I think it's, you know, Segai, Kipyegon, Chebet, and Battlecletti. Who misses out on the medals? You'd have to say Segai. The way that Battlecletti put her away in the 10.
But how much did that take out of it?
I don't know, man. She's a freak. Shelby Houlihan looked pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say, Shelby. Could she get a medal?
They're going to roll. They're going to roll. It's not going to be slow.
No.
Well, at the very least, Tanaka's going to take this one out in 14:40 pace. Something like that. And if it's 14:40,
then when you've got Chebet and Kipyegon gunning it from 1,200 out after that, then yeah. Those, I think,
but I did think
those two so clear.
I think Battlecletti
whoever Chebet can break her.
For me, Battlecletti is an outside shot of gold. That might sound crazy considering Chebet's dominance, but if Chebet and Kipyegon go too hard and they go at it, Segai, and they follow Segai, and they Battlecletti matched her in the 10 on the kick, but the 5 is Chebet's. She's unreal. She's absolutely unreal. But Battlecletti could sneak a gold. I mean, I'm personally saying that because of the upsets I've seen in these championships.
Yeah.
Nada yesterday, way stranger things have happened, and so it could be possible.
It's true, mate. Got all that to look forward to, as well as that then. Coming up tomorrow, men's 5,000 metre heats, we just said. The women are straight into those semi-finals, so we can start to see who is shaping up the best. And then, obviously, not too much going on, apart from that women's 5K. Oh, actually, ignore me. Women's 5K final and the men's 800 final on Saturday. And then we close off on Sunday. So, mate, the champs is nearly done.
Women's 5K final and men's 800 final Saturday. Yeah, is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean,
It's all good, bud. It's all good. Just trying to get the information out there for the people. Check
Yeah.
George's
And
graphic if you're unsure. Don't listen to what we're saying on this. Check the graphic on Instagram.
No, I would not trust George's graphics. Misleading at the best of times, mate.
He normally just throws a few in there. He's trying to get the engagement up with the comments. We like it when you correct us.
Let the boy make mistakes. He just doesn't
Yeah.
learn from them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously, it's the women's 800 and the men's 5K, the reverse on Sunday night. God, and then we've got about 5 hours of relays on Sunday night. Got 10 4x4s to get through.
Yeah, we got the men's 1500 for the decathlon though.
I do quite like that, actually.
Yeah,
I like to just-
you see a few bodies.
I like to remind myself I could still win the 1500 at the World Champs. What do they run? 405?
Mate, some of them are quite good these days. Back in the day, yeah, they used to be pretty slow.
Yeah, they used to go run 410.
Yeah.
It's tough. 10 events, bless them, and they can run a 48. They usually run like a 46, 47 500 as well, don't they? So,
Yeah, the 15-inch is just far too far away from every other event they do.
oh, yeah.
Don't know why
the
they don't
design-
run the 8 like the heptathlon, to be honest. Because I think that's
Yeah.
why the heptathletes, they're pretty decent.
Mate, I mean, Anna Hall is just a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the men would break 150.
Well, I don't know about that.
No? They'd run 149. And the men can run like 46, 47, 400.
Yeah, but then when you look at their 15,
Yeah, I know they're still.
they're not running one.
Thing is, in the men's decathlon as
410.
well, they just don't care. They just don't want to get after it. They all kind of have like this soft agreement, right?
Yeah, gentlemen's agreement.
No one be too stupid. No one go run 350 here. Like, let's just go right. Let's go run 410. Let's go run 405, and then that's like they agree on the winning time before they start. But yeah, I think they break 150. Some of those blokes are 149.
Maybe like 154. Be like you and Keely.
We'd all have a pretty good race, actually.
Yeah.
That'd be a matchup people want to see. Right, mate. Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, we'll be back. I'll be traveling tomorrow. Saturday morning, but that's Friday in the UK. So, yeah, we'll be back Saturday night, Sunday night. But
Perfect. Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you soon.